Good morning, everyone. We are back. It is the 11th of June 2024, and like I said on my last video uploaded, which was part 13, even the herons, even the herons agree with me. Yes, on the last part, it was a very short video. I said that it was going to be clear skies. Well, that's just what the weatherman said, and look, according to the Met Office. And what you're seeing now, clear blue sky. Isn't it fantastic? But is it going to get spoiled by those pesky trowels once again? We shall see. We shall see. Because remember, like I always says, this is never a failed experiment. We shall keep continuing doing these experiments. And then hopefully we'll find out the real truth. All in all, it's looking pretty good. More than good. We have clear blue sky. Look at the sun. Woo, it's supposed to be nice today. 25, I think. Something like that. Might do a bit of UFO washing as well. Keep rise to the skies. I'm here at this lovely golf course. And you can see it's overcast once again. Hopefully it might clear up. According to the weatherman. Time will tell. Ooh. I think we have something here. Check this out. Pretty much what it was back the past few days. I keep seeing this. White haze keeping appearing. Obviously the cirrus. And you can see the trail being formed in the background. However, we do have cirrus blended in with, obviously, the trails. Very common occurrence. I shall leave the time lapse, obviously, and I will come back in a short period of time to check out what the skies will be like. But once again, this is more than 5 times I've seen it, where we have trails in the sky in the evening. Would it linger until tomorrow? And normally, from what the mainstream media is saying, even though I can track it back to books, that the fact you do have this cirrus, this white haze, yes, it can be formed naturally, and yes, chemies, chems can do that as well. Chemies are that's people, which normally is a sign of change of weather. In some cases, time will tell. Short time has passed, coming up to 8:45 in the evening, and here are the trails. That one's spread out quite a bit. Very see-through though. Once again, it's lingering. It's definitely moving. This is it. It's you look at these clouds and they look so much like chemtrails spread out. It really does. And like I said, cirrus cloud, which is that there. Let's put a picture of a cirrus cloud that kind of looks like this, so you can see back in the day. I'll put the date on there for you. And this is it. This is what people get confused by. Even I get confused by it, and I've corrected myself over the time. Is once you review the time-lapse video, you go, oh, actually, no, it could just be natural cloud that can form in that area. These are stretchy, long cirrus clouds. That again looks like chems, doesn't it? Right, pop back in a bit. And look what just arrived. We're coming up to 9:15 at night. And we've got another one there. Once again, the very faint trail with another one. I would say it's a bit more denser in that area. Maybe, just saying, because you've got that mass amount of cloud there. In fact, you can see more. Yes, my camcorder is working to a certain degree. Thank God for that. Yes, yeah, you can see there's some, obviously, trails and some excess cloud as well. You can see it in the forefront here, more or less, in this area. There we go, we have trails in the evening. They're a bit more denser. Well, that one is. This one here, according except for this one, which seems quite faint. Actually, looking at it, it might dissipate. Shall we see what happens with the time lapse? Coming to think about it, it looks like it's dissipating. Look at it. Has got quite faint. That should cast a shadow. What do you reckon? There is one more shot. That's better. There we go. Beautiful, clear sky. But we got thunderstorms coming tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30 in the morning. Welcome back. We are the 12th, I think. Hold on, let me just check. No, we are the 13th, Friday the 13th of June 2025. We are 6:45 in the morning. I did notice one or two very faint trails, but all in all, it's actually turned out to be quite a nice morning. And it's been quite muggy as well. Very, very muggy. Nevertheless, we have clear skies, which is nice to see in the morning. But would it stay for the remainder of the day? Well, half an hour has passed, and once again we can see the white persistent haze, the stretchiness, like right here. There's a photograph from back in the day. It's typical cirrus, I believe. Might be wrong, I will always correct myself. And this, you always find trails in a mix of this. Here's a photograph from the balloon fiesta, and you can see this hook-like cloud. I would consider that as a hooked cirrus. Obviously this is a trail here, but you would normally find the trails in a mix of the white haze. That's what I've noticed. Here's some more photographs from back in the day. I think it's from like 1981. And you will find this like stretchiness of like this stretched out cloud, which can be misidentified as something chemtrail related, something that's been like spread out. But the time lapse will say something different if when you analyze it. And it's finding out where these white haze comes from, because sometimes, like I said, I've got plenty of footage that just appears from nowhere, or it's come from a distance, and you can tell when it's cirrus because it's stretched out. So there we go. So far is getting a bit trailer. But anyway, when I see the next trail being formed, I'm going to track the aircraft because there's something I need to talk about. Back once again. It's about an hour has passed and it's become overcast. The sun is still shining though, as it always does. Has done for billions of years, I think. What do you think, I'm a scientist? Typical excuse. What have we got here? Where are you two, mate? Where are you two? He's there somewhere. Anyway, in terms of trails, not much. Not much. Well, the weatherman did say it was going to get pretty much overcast, cloudy, which this is a typical day in England, which you would normally see in the sky. There we go. Oh, there's a few trails in the background now. A few of them. Okay. See you in a bit. Ooh, look at that. X marks the spot. Perfect. I think is worth. Oh look, it's casting shadow. Look at that. Awesome. Right, let's track this aircraft. Right, this plane here was a Ryanair flight. You can see it's travelling from Dublin to Basel, whatever. Shut up. Yes, that is the flight that flew past and give off that trail. This is interesting. This big white mass right here. Oh look, we've got the halo around the sun, the 22-degree halo. I think it might just be half of it, which is called this. I can't remember what it's called. Is it called I don't know. I've noticed with trails, here's a video of trails being spread out that was pretty much like this, and it goes a bit like what I call like cirrostratus, actually cirrocumulus, which is like this bubbly cloud. That's one thing I did notice the other day. But nevertheless, the typical cirrostratus, which will cause the halo around the sun, but we do have this white haze, and with the cirrus, the stretched out cirrus that we saw earlier. So it's quite interesting today. So maybe it's a sign of change of weather, and I have noticed that when these trails form and you've got the high altitude cirrus with the cirrostratus, it can do that, and I have noticed that. So yeah, keep the eyes to the skies. Alright, I see a lot of videos of this. You can see we have the trail being formed, and we have an aircraft just below it. I can't see it in my view, but I think it's over there somewhere. Obviously that plane's a lot lower, so let's go track this trail right now. Here we go. These are the two aircraft that just flew by. So obviously this one was the highest one that produced the trail. Not available. Hold on a minute, what's going on here? Right, okay, so that's the lower one was travelling at this, and this is Chicago to London. What's going on in here then? Right, this is the aircraft. It's a Boeing 767. Yeah, it's not showing up. I've just come out of the app and come back in. So yes, it's a Boeing 767. And you can see here, and it's not showing up. Oh, look at that, it's producing a shadow. Say hello to the people. There we go. A wonderful cat, Lucifer. You sweet darling. Right, okay, we should see an aircraft flying. Hopefully. Where are you two? Where are you two, you bastard? Well, that's the trail that unidentified aircraft. Well, it was identified, but it didn't really come up with any information. Ah, there it is. That's the aircraft, which is not given off a trail. But once again, it's that hazy mixed with trails. But are the trails going to be blocking out the sun? Now, time lapse, which will run through just a short time period, and you can see what the outcome so far. It's difficult to say with this white haze. Big strips right here, see that? It's stuff like that I see. I think, right, okay, what is this? Is this something naturally formed there, or is it a trail? Because we do have trails in the mix of this. And there's one there as well. But you do have this white blanket. Let's go back a bit. There you go. Cool. Okay, right. I'm going to pop back in a short time. Coming up to 10 o'clock. Here we have the sky. It's starting to go clear now. We do have some remnants of some trails in the sky. Very faint once again. Nothing like this where it's going horizon to horizon. Let's roll through the time lapse from this time period so you can see what the skies have been like. Okay, this bit here I can see is all trail related, not really blocking out the sun. Alright, just saying. 15 minutes have passed. Check out this bit here. So you can see it's all like starting to begin to stretch out. And back. It's coming up to 11:30. And I think that white haze pretty much over there, I don't know what was done, I have to follow the time lapse. But we do have some remaining trails that are spread out. Small ones. And we have this one here. We're 1:45. As I turn the camera, we have this cloud. I think it's something to do with either, I don't think it's cirrocumulus, because that's what we saw on the previous episode, that high altitude cloud. Also cumulus, because it's a bit lower. So it's lower than the stratosphere, basically. I think. I'll put some photographs on the screen so you can see at the moment. So there is a change of weather happening. We've got a weather warning out for rain from the Met Office. I'm going to be honest with you, they're kind of useless when it comes to predicting the weather. But it's been a mixed bag today. I have returned once again. We are coming up to 2:45. Let's run a time lapse. Just for heaven's sakes, what it's been like since the last time I've looked up in the sky. Here we go. No trails, I can't see anything. Maybe this cirrocumulus stuff over there. I'm fucking hell. What you looking at me for? Anyway, right, put back in a bit. I have returned. And the skies are pretty much becoming nearly covered. We are expecting rain to come in at some point during the night, which saves me watering the garden, which is good. So today's been a mixed bag. I'll continue doing a time lapse and analysis of the skies so far. Look at that stretched out white haze. Look at that. Yeah. So this is approaching this massive depression, as one would say. There we go. Right, I'll catch you in a bit. I returned. It is past 6 o'clock. And once again, we have no trails. No trails. I don't know if I'm doing Mexican accent. No idea. But there are no trails. No trails whatsoever. And it's supposed to be crap weather tomorrow, according to the weatherman. It is 9:10 in the evening. Yes, it's still light. It should be light until like 10 o'clock, as it will be the longest day of the year on the 25th of June, which would be the summer solstice. So there we go. But so far, not a lot of trails. We'll analyse the time lapse in a minute, but all in all, it's been a mixed bag of a day. One of those days where it's been nice, sunny, it's been cloudy, but all in all, a steady temperature. But I wish the sun would be shining a bit more. We are Sunday, 15th of June, and the weather's been pretty good today, actually. You can see from here. But nevertheless, we are around about coming up to 6:30. Here's a picture of a hook-like cirrus, and here's one from a balloon fiesta around about 1999, I think, something like that. And here's some more big trail That's been, I think it's a trail. But yeah, there we go. So far. Good morning, everyone. I have returned once again on the 16th, Monday the 16th of June 2025. And what do we have here? We have, once again, faint, short trails with a bit of cumulus splashed in, as one can see. There you go there. So yeah, once again on this 16th of June 2025, 10 past 9 in the morning. And it's supposed to be really nice this week, so this would be a perfect opportunity for the powers that be to really work their magic on dimming the sun. 'Cause it's supposed to be 28 degrees, which, like I said, would be perfect to do geoengineering. So time will tell, but the trails are starting to appear again. Alright, see you in a bit. Short time has passed. The trails very barely, you can see a little one there. But all in all, it's gone a bit overcast. But it's mostly that area. The trails are pretty much persistent, but it's very, very faint. As you can see. Right, I am back. Time is 1:45. And we just have a bunch of cumulus. And the sun's really nice today. Really, really nice. It's in its 20s. The temperature's in its 20s, 20 degrees. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. There we go. So far, so good. Okay. I'm back once again, so let's check out the time lapse. And this was, I can't remember what day, I've got it all in order here. But the idea is to really sort of track the trails and see what it's actually doing. Let's put this a bit bigger so we can see. There we go. I can't remember what this day was. It was a mixed bag that specific day. I'm just going to skip ahead. Yeah, some days were like cloudy like this. There will be a few trails in the background, but nothing major. Like you can see it here. There's a few trails. You got a bit of cumulus as well, and a bit of cirrus. Well, that cumulus is obviously that puffy cloud that you've seen here. And the trails are in the background, which kind of makes no sense. You know, if I hit pause right here, look, you can see like a bunch of trails right here. I mean, this big puffy cloud here, which we all know as cumulus cloud, is going to do a more sufficient job of actually blocking out the sun than these trails are. They're very, very faint, and this is a very reoccurring thing of what you're actually going to find. I mean, look at these trails. It's quite amazing how they actually kind of spread out, actually, in this video here. But it's not, if I just go back, from the beginning of these trails, you can see it right now. And I'm going to pause it about there. Okay, right. Is that all in all really going to block out the sun or even dim it? Do you understand the concept I'm really trying to put forward here? This seems to be a very recurring thing. Very faint trails are not really supposed to do their job of actually dimming the sun. Obviously, the sun's going down here at this time period. And once it hits the evening, I do notice that a vast majority of the trails do disappear, and even that goes for the cirrus cloud as well. Nice to see the flies make an appearance. Again, the white haze with the trails. That damn fly, go away. Just I'm gonna swipe the screen, like, get out of here. Oh, this is quite interesting, this bit here. You see the trail just about being formed, and then you have this mass amount of white cloud that comes in, which at the time was part of the cirrus. You can see, yeah, see the trail in the background? Always seems to be a reoccurring thing. And there are a couple of trails that were being formed right here. And once again, you can see that this one here, it just dissipates. Look. Within time. So this is a span of at least half an hour. And once again, the clouds disappear and all the trails, and we finally have clear blue sky. So that's day one. Now let's skip forward to Friday the 13th. Yes, the cursed day, as one would say. And once again, in straight in the morning, a bunch of trails. You do have small trails you can see coming in right here. And it's always tracking that white haze that comes in. You can see, obviously, you see that's a trail right here. Even that's a small one. And then you got the mass amounts of like the white haze that comes in. Keep on seeing it. Trails obviously spread out here. And then this what I would call, and this white haze, what I would call like cirrus stratus, because it can create a halo around the sun. But again, spread out trails, even chemtrails, so to speak, if you want to call it that, does mimic basically cirrus stratus, cirrus and cirrus stratus. But yeah, but once again, but the trails are very small. I mean, there's some of them like right here that are quite stretchy, but it's not enough to actually like dim the sun. Do you know what I mean? I remember at this time period, this part here, I was saying whether or not it was actually a trail or was it something natural. It's kind of hard to tell. If we observe here, it is really part of this like white haze. So my conclusion on this, what we've seen here, you can see it's all building up, that this is probably most likely something natural. Because the trails are so short. You can see here, they're not really doing anything. This is part of that white haze, and I've got so much footage of white haze being built up in that area, even like natural cloud as well. So I have to, now looking back through the time lapse and going, well, actually, no, this isn't nothing to do with the trails. You can see here a trail being formed, but they're very, very small, very, very faint. And you can contribute these small trails to the whole mass, white mass haze that we're seeing right here. Again, we've got another one, just not big enough. And now we have the cumulus coming in. There we go. Yeah, it goes clear. And I think we saw a few trails popping in and out as well. Yeah, that was that long hook cirrus that I was showing you. And it goes to overcast. Okay, so that was on Friday the 13th. So let's skip forward ahead again. Okay, this is Saturday the 14th. Now, I was out on a pisser all day, so I don't know what the bloody weather was like. I think it was actually quite nice, if I remember rightly. I wasn't a t-shirt all day. Let's skip forward ahead. Let's see what the skies were like. Okay, overcast. Oh, had a bit of rain. Okay. Yeah, what we're seeing here, guys, this is what we typically known as the big puffy clouds that we all know. This is called cumulus, all right? This is what we all know. But the chemtrail community think is just, this is the only cloud that exists, and the truth is it isn't. Let's skip ahead. Looks like no trails that day on that lovely Saturday. Oh, there's a few there. It's very small, very faint. Got a few cirrus, more trails there. Okay. So on the Saturday, we had a load of cumulus in the morning. And then obviously in the evening, because the sun's going down, I can see it right there. We have a bunch of like cirrus. There's all the cirrus, all the stretched out hook clouds. And obviously we still have the cumulus. Just going to skip ahead to the Sunday. Okay, there it goes, all clear. Oh, that's it. That's what I would consider as cirrocumulus. Yeah. These clouds just like, they're like long, stretchy, bubbly clouds that can give obviously like ripple effect, and they can just like grow and grow in that immediate area, as you're seeing right here, right now. And that should dissipate. Now the temperature's going down. Shall I see if I'm right? Bear in mind, I was hammered at this time. So, yep, once again, it's going clear. I keep seeing it. These clouds just appear and then disappear in the evening. And that same goes for the trails. Skipping forward to the Sunday. This is the 15th. And let's have a look. Okay. Big cumulus. Pretty much like the day before. Are we going to see trails in the evening? Let's skip forward. This is probably about around about 1 o'clock. I can tell by the time due to the position of the sun. Cumulus, we have some cumulus. Any trails in the evening? Let's have a little look. No. Oh, there's some cirrus. Some hook cirrus there. So you should technically see trails. Look, there we go. If you see cirrus, you're going to find trails. Look at that. There we go. Yep, there we go. Trails being formed right there. Hook cirrus, trails, another trail, cirrus. There we go. Last but not least, we are moving forward to Monday the 16th, as we're just doing a round of conclusion so far. What was it like on the Monday? Small trails, more cumulus. There's a few trails in the background, you can see. Do we have any trails in the evening? Oh, might be... Again, it's the evening. There's a few trail there. Look, why are you spraying in the evening? Makes no sense. I'm rolling it up to some... Oh, look at that. Lovely hook cirrus. I don't know how it's like moving and turning. Kind of looks like... what they call... this, I'm going to put on screen. I can't think of the name. Oh, what an idiot. Okay, right. Moving forward to the evening on the Monday, the 16th of June, 2025. We just have a little bit of cloud. As a final conclusion on this 18th of June, 2025, did the trails block out the sun? No. However, this morning, we've got a lot of trails in the sky, and I'm actually currently editing the video for this one. So it nevertheless is not a failed experiment. I'll keep doing it. So there's my final conclusion. The trails did block out the sun. Fortunately, it didn't. So there we have it. Another experiment done and dusted. I shall catch you soon on the Cosmic Twilight and Investigate with Nick. I'll see you very soon.